Hello YouTube, this is Alexis, the Transgender Duelist, and today I'm going to be bringing you an Immato deck profile. So Immatos are a really bad deck from back in the 5Ds era. I think one of the NPCs in the 5 Dust Star Accelerator game used them. I'm not 100% sure on that, someone correct me if I'm wrong. And basically they revolve around this bad guy right here. Also I just want to point out that the bar is going straight through the tomato. So does that mean he's being impaled, or is that just a art glitch? I don't know. Someone please tell me if what that's supposed to mean. And then also Cherry Amato over here. So obviously not a whole lot to work with there, but there's some saving grace. First off, they're dark monsters, so they synergize with Allure of Darkness. And secondly, when the Cherry Amato gets destroyed, it summons out 2 Immato monsters from the deck. But even then, there is a little bit of a downside in the fact that if it does that, they can't be used as synchro material during that turn, which is, I mean, kind of annoying. I don't know why they would give a synchro deck the inability to synchro summon during the turn if you summon the monsters out, but I digress. So I went ahead and tried to make myself a Immato deck profile, and I just want to let you know this deck is not going to be used against the competitive meta. This is not even going to be used against a competent player. It's just against someone who you want to play against for fun, and you're not really trying to like just go for style points. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the deck profile. I'm going to make sure I explain everything nice and clearly. So first off, we're running a triple Cherry Immato. Cherry Immato allows you to summon out 2 Immatos when it's destroyed by battle, which is kind of like the only synergy this deck has with itself. I really wish it said Mato monster, then you could summon out Mystic Tomato for even more synergy, but I digress. It does allow you to go for an easy level 5 Synchro Summon. You could also do it for a rank 3 Exceed play, which is actually in here. You can also use it for a rank 2 play, but I like to just do it for the level 5 Synchro play because that seems to be the most consistent one across the board. Next, we're running just 2 Debris Dragon. You could bump this up to 3 now that the Debris Dragon is at 3, but I find that I only really want the Debris Dragon after I resolve Lonefire Blossom. And even though I am running 3 Lonefire Blossoms, a 2 Debris Dragon, I like to see Debris Dragon just enough that I see it, but not enough that I'm going to open with it like every single game. So that's why it's here as a 2-up. Allows you to go into some pretty easy level 7 Synchros, Ancient Fairy Dragon, Black Rose Dragon, and Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. You could dump a Black Rose Dragon for a Moon Rose Dragon. I couldn't really decide which was better, so I just put double Black Rose because, well, Black Rose is a little bit better at most of the time. Running 1 Glow Up Bulb just so I can make Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, as well as just tutor out for like a Trishula or something like that. Not really allowed to say. If you ever play a plant deck, you know how important Glow Up Bulb is. Also, it's a level 1 tuner, which is abusable off of our world tree, which I'll be getting to shortly. Running triple Immato, this card basically is a really bad pot of greed. You're never ever going to resolve that effect, unless your opponent doesn't read, in which case you'll probably resolve it once or twice, but I digress. It does have 1400 attack points, which is somewhat relevant. I don't know if it's terribly relevant, but the fact that it has 1400 attack means that it can run over stuff. Running triple Lonefire Blossom. This is just here for consistency purposes. You don't really need it, but if you don't have it, then your deck is less consistent, so I'm deciding to run 3 of it. Main monster I like to summon is Mystic Tomato and Cherry Amato. Running triple Mystic Tomato, it's a level 4 monster. It summons out dark monsters, which the Cherry Amato is. And not really a lot to say there. It's just here because it summons out Cherry Amato. Running 1 Revival Rose. This is in here simply because I wanted something that I could use to revive itself. And its defense points are 1300, which means that it can survive the attacks of anything that Black Garden summons out over here, as well as the fact that it can take on anything up to 2600 attack points while in defense mode. So it does offer to be a little bit of a wall, especially since our synchros do tend to die a lot. You can also summon it out with Lonefire Blossom, which means that it's not hard at all to get this card out. Running 1 Spore, this is just here so that we have some consistency in what monsters we can summon out. It hasn't really had any problems, but you may want to run some more variable levels in your extra deck if you do decide to use Spore. Running triple Twilight Rose Knight. This is here because it allows us to perform synchro summons on turn 1, as well as just, well, have another tuner monster, since before that we only had 2 tuner monsters that were worth running. Triple Allure of Darkness because we have quite a few dark monsters. Cherry Immato, Mystic Tomato, Immato, and Twilight Rose Knight are all dark monsters. Black Garden. So the reason for Black Garden is that first off, it allows us to get out monsters that we can use for a Link summon. And if we're not Link summoning, we can use them for Synchro summoning. And you probably should be running more Link monsters, but this has been working okay in testing. It's not really easy to test a fun deck like this, so if you guys want to help me test it out, and if I make any notable changes, I'll make a new deck profile for this. Do let me know. It also does add a little bit of a control aspect, since Cherry Immato dying allows you to summon out Immato here, which allows you to be just over where the tokens can beat over, which is kind of nice. Running triple Fragrance Storm, remove our opponent's rose tokens or our own rose tokens, draw a card, and if we draw into a plant monster, we get to draw an additional card. Pod Duality, because we don't special summon every single turn, so we can afford it. One Soul Charge, not going to explain that one. Terraforming to search out Black Garden. The World Tree, this is here for several reasons. First off, it does allow us to continue the aspect of control that this deck is trying to go for. And by control, I mean that when you lose 2 monsters, you get to blow up a monster on the field. You can also use it as a pseudo monster reborn, which can be nice. And also, because it summons out plant monsters, you actually do have Queen of Thorns and Splendid Rose in the extra deck that you can summon off of this thing. And they have some pretty nice effects. Like, they're not game breaking, but they're definitely pretty good. And then triple Jar of Avarice, because Jar of Avarice allows us to easily shuffle back our Cherry Immatos, our Immatos, and our Mystic Tomatoes back into our deck, which allows us to continue stalling out if necessary, or just to float even harder to get even more synchro plays off. So the extra deck is a little tight, but you can very easily change it around. We're running one Ally of Justice Caster because there aren't a lot of dark decks around. One Ancient Fairy Dragon, summon out Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, and search out another Black Garden if we need life points. Double Black Rose Dragon, you could easily drop one for a Moonlight Dragon, it depends on what you want. Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, because high level decks are actually pretty relevant right now. Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, because Clear Wing Synchro Dragon is really, really good. Speedroy Chambara, because Chambara allows us to easily attack twice and can allow us to steal games that we would have otherwise lost. And also, it's stronger than Black Rose tokens, so that's also good. Queen of Thorns, this is here because you can summon it off of the World Tree, and because it can force your opponent to not want to normal summon if they have low life points. Actually, if they have low life points, they might not even be able to normal summon, so that's good. And the bad part is, though, that it only hits the hand, so I mean, against something like World Chalice, GG no re, but against something like, say, Zodiacs or Raid Raptor, well, against Raid Raptors it does hurt. I don't know, against certain decks, this card is just really, really broken, so it's good to have. Running one Dragon of the Rebirth, because Rebirth allows us to summon out Cherry Immato from our graveyard. And also, fun fact, if Rebirth dies and your opponent can't attack you again, you can just go ahead and summon out Revival Rose and like Glow Bulb or the Breeze Dragon or whatever you're going for, and perform another Synchro Summon afterwards. So that's pretty nice to note as well. Running one Splendid Rose. This card allows us to attack twice. That's basically all you really need to know. It also allows us to half a monster our opponent controls. So if your opponent has a monster you're having a little bit of difficulties running over, summon out Splendid Rose from the grave using the World Tree, banish a plant monster, and then voila, go ahead and just run over that monster and then attack another monster again. I think it has to be a monster, right? Nope, it's just a second attack period, so you can actually attack them directly, which is pretty nice. And also, it doesn't have to attack a monster to do that, so you can also do this as sort of a pseudo Gaga Samurai, which is pretty nice, especially since this thing came out in like 2007. Running one Trish because it's not terribly difficult to make. One Leviar because if you're forced to Allure of Darkness a Cherry Immato away, you want to have a way to get it back onto the field. And then for Link monsters, we're running the one Deco Talker, one Link Spider, and one Proxy Dragon. And that's basically it for the deck profile. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Sorry about that. And this is Alexis, and I'm signing out.